The cold stone feels rough beneath your cheek. You don't remember lying down here. Not exactly. Somewhere in the quiet you drifted. Or maybe you never fully woke. It doesn't matter much. Time moves differently in a place like this. The air tastes of old ashes and damp wool. Heavy. Still. It carries the soft scent of something faintly sour. Vinegar, maybe, clinging to your skin from yesterday's attempts. You shift. Straw crunches under your weight, sharp ends poking your back. Something tiny scurries deeper into the bedding. A flea, you hope. Or maybe you don't hope. At least fleas don't judge your complexion. You sigh, and your breath drifts up into the silence, caught by stone walls that have heard far too many of these tired, quiet sighs. What if history forgot you? Not because you did something wrong, but because you lived exactly as you were told. Would anyone remember how many hours you sat beneath this window trying to keep your face pale enough? Would anyone remember the burns hidden beneath your sleeves? Or the dull ache in your stomach after too many mornings like this, hungry, lightheaded, but still beautiful? The morning light barely creeps through the tiny slit window, painting a thin silver stripe across the uneven floorboards. Dust hangs in it like tiny ghosts, swirling in circles. You watch it for a while. It's easier than thinking. Your fingertips run gently along your cheek. Still smooth? Still soft? The lead hasn't scarred yet. You know it will. Someday. Maybe not today. Your eyes find the polished copper disc hanging on the wall. They call it a mirror, but it shows you a version of yourself that never quite feels true. The face looking back is pale, paler than last year. Pale enough. You never know. Pale means privilege. Pale means you haven't worked beneath the sun like the peasants. Pale means your husband's family will nod with approval, even if they pretend not to look. Pale means you're winning, though you're never quite sure what the prize is. The floor creaks outside your door. Soft footsteps. You know who it is. Your mother, as always, coming to check your progress, to make sure today's version of you is good enough. The door opens slowly. She steps inside, her face already prepared, powdered, veiled, flawless, if you don't look too closely. But you've looked closely. You've seen the sores beneath the paint, the tiny cracks where skin break open, punished by years of careful poisoning. "Time to begin," she whispers, her voice as soft as cloth. You sit up, the scratchy wool of your gown dragging across your arms. The table waits beside you, the same wooden table that has held your tools every morning for years. The jar of white powder sits at the center. White lead, carefully ground and stored, as precious as any treasure. Next to it, the tiny dish of vinegar-soaked cloth. Beside that, the thin brush made from fine animal hair ready to draw faint blue veins across your chest. Delicacy, fragility.
The brush rests in your hand, trembling faintly. You feel your mother's breath behind you, watching, measuring. Her eyes never leave your face. They are careful eyes, eyes that have lived this same routine for too many years. You place the brush gently on the table. The powder glistens softly beneath the pale morning light, like crushed snow. It's almost beautiful, you think, if you forget what's inside it. Your mother's hands touch your shoulders lightly. Her fingers are cold. "Good," she says softly. "Good enough." You nod. You always nod. There's nothing else to say. And besides, speaking risks a blush. A sudden flush of pink would ruin everything. So you stay quiet. The room smells of vinegar and stale wool. It always does. You've stopped noticing. Or you thought you had. A soft knock echoes from the door downstairs. Your mother stiffens, listening. The knock comes again. Polite, measured, too careful to belong to a servant. She moves toward the window, peering out through the narrow slit. A pause. Then her voice, calm but sharp. The tailor. Of course, the gown. It has arrived. You stand slowly, smoothing the fabric of your sleeves, careful not to touch your face. The powder is still fresh, still fragile, like you. Your mother's hands touch your shoulders lightly. Her fingers are cold. Good, she says softly. Good enough. You nod. You always nod. There's nothing else to say. And besides, speaking risks a blush. A sudden flush of pink would ruin everything. So you stay quiet. The room smells of vinegar and stale wool. It always does. You've stopped noticing. Or you thought you had. A soft knock echoes from the door downstairs. Your mother stiffens, listening. The knock comes again. Polite, measured, too careful to belong to a servant. She moves toward the window, peering out through the narrow slit. A pause. Then her voice, calm but sharp. The tailor. Of course, the gown. It has arrived. You stand slowly, smoothing the fabric of your sleeves, careful not to touch your face. The powder is still fresh, still fragile, like you. Your mother steps into the room behind you, her voice a whisper. They will see you tonight, and they will remember. Will they? For how long? Until you fade? Until another girl, paler still, takes your place? You say nothing. You don't have to. You both know the answer. Outside, the sky turns pale gray. Another quiet day. Another careful performance. Your life continues, one perfect mask at a time.
The velvet pulls against your shoulders as you move, testing the fit. It always feels heavier at first, as if the gown itself knows how much it demands from you. Your mother steps closer, adjusting the folds with steady hands. She smooths the embroidered sleeves, tugging gently at the seams. Her fingers are cool, skilled from years of practice. "You must stand straighter," she murmurs. "The shoulders sit better when you're tall." You straighten. The neckline tightens again. It always does. For a moment, your eyes wander to the small wooden chest at the corner of the room. Inside it lies a collection of little jars, bottles, and brushes, your daily companions. White lead powder, vinegar cloths, crushed pearl paste, and rouge. Tools of your trade, tools of survival. Few would call it dangerous, not openly, but they all know. You know. Lead seeps into the blood, into the bones. It robs you slowly, your strength, your hair, your skin's softness. Your mother's hands are careful not to touch her face too much these days. The sores near her temples betray what powder cannot fully hide anymore. You once asked her, years ago, if it frightened her, if the price of beauty was worth it. Her answer was soft. "If we are lucky, child, we die before we feel it." You didn't ask again after that. The afternoon light softens outside the narrow window. Shadows grow longer. Somewhere beyond the walls, you hear the low hum of the marketplace winding down, merchants packing their stalls, servants calling to each other in tired voices. Life outside always sounds different, looser, warmer, louder, unconcerned with who is pale and who is not. You envy them sometimes. Not often, just enough to feel the sting. Your mother lifts a small wooden box from her satchel. Inside lies a thin strip of silver, a headband, simple but elegant. "No veil tonight," she whispers. "The headband will pull your hairline higher. It will suit your face." You nod again. You always nod. The smooth forehead, the high empty space where once your eyebrows lived, a symbol of grace, of intelligence, of status. They say a high forehead reflects a noble mind, as though thinking requires so much room that the skull must stretch upward to contain it. Your brows are long gone now, plucked slowly, carefully, until nothing remained. Some women burn the hairs away with quicklime, others with vinegar-soaked cloths. One girl you knew once used leeches to weaken the skin before tweezing. She married well. The pain was always brief, the itching less so. But your forehead shines now, smooth and pale beneath the egg-white glaze, perfect. Your mother smiles faintly. You will draw attention tonight. You will. That is the goal. Evening arrives slowly. The household stirs. Candles flicker along the long stone hall. Their warm glow is soft, mercifully soft. They do not expose the powder cracks too quickly. You sit by the table as your maid fastens the last hooks at the back of your gown. Her hands are gentle but quick. You catch your reflection again in the copper disc. a ghostly face, smooth, silent, pale as winter's moonlight. Behind you, your mother speaks softly to the maid, her voice a low hum of instructions. Be sure the rouge stays subtle, just a whisper of color, no more. Yes, my lady. The rouge mixture sits ready, crushed cochineal insects mixed into a paste, deep red, vibrant, and dangerous. A soft dab onto your cheeks, enough to give the illusion of youthful flush, as if you were shy, as if you hadn't spent all morning starving your skin of warmth. Too much rouge would raise eyebrows. Metaphorically, of course. No one has literal eyebrows anymore. Outside, the carriage waits. The lanterns flicker gently against the dusk, casting golden halos into the deepening night. Your father's steward stands by the door, hands clasped. The hall awaits, my lady. You exhale softly. The weight of the gown presses down as you step carefully into the carriage. The leather seats creak beneath you. The wheels begin to turn. The town slips past slowly, quiet stone houses leaning against each other as if tired from too many years of standing. Lanterns swing gently in the breeze. Soft voices echo from narrow streets.
The next course is served. You sit now at the long banquet table, your gown settling heavily around you like a coiled blanket. The fabric traps your body in its place, as if gently reminding you, you are not here to eat, you are here to be seen. Servants glide around you like silent shadows, placing small plates before the guests. Thin slices of bread, a bowl of clear broth, a few delicate figs carefully arranged. Enough food to give the illusion of a feast, but not enough to risk the horror of a flush, not enough to bring warmth to your cheeks. You watch as Lady Celine's daughter Marjorie picks carefully at her plate, her fingers delicate, trained. She lifts a single fig, breaking it apart with her fingertips. The red flesh glistens beneath the candlelight. She does not eat it. You glance downward, mimicking her restraint. It is all a performance, after all. You are hungry, but hunger is useful. A slight hollowness to the face draws out the bones. The cheekbones rise higher. The eyes appear larger, softly sunken, delicately fragile. Your stomach growls quietly. No one hears, or pretends not to. At the far end of the table, your father speaks in low conversation with Lord Hawthorne. Their voices rise only slightly above the music, enough to carry hints of negotiations wrapped in polite pleasantries. Marriage. They are discussing marriage. Your marriage. You sip slowly from your goblet, thin, watered wine. Not enough to stain your lips or cheeks, just enough to moisten the powder along your mouth. You pretend not to listen, but every word seems sharp, slicing gently into your ears. Her complexion is exceptional, Lord Hawthorne says, voice smooth, measured, rare these days. Your father chuckles politely. We take care. My wife has trained her well. Trained. The word lands heavier than the velvet across your shoulders. You glance briefly at your mother, sitting silently beside you. Her gaze remains forward, calm, steady. A queen in her quiet kingdom. The conversation continues. Talk of estates, dowries, alliances. You are not asked to speak. Your presence is your answer. Your beauty is your contribution.
Across the table, Lady Celine leans in slightly toward her own daughter. Marjorie's skin glows faintly under the powder, perhaps too much rouge. A single bead of sweat forms near her temple. The candlelight catches it. You wonder if anyone else notices. Lady Celine certainly does. Her lips tighten almost imperceptibly. The quiet war continues. You lower your gaze, as if modest, but you feel it, that tiny, bitter satisfaction. Your powder holds. Your rouge remains flawless. Tonight, at least. A servant appears at your side, offering a small silver dish. Dried rose petals. A strange addition. You blink softly, unsure. The servant bows. From the apothecary, my lady. A gift for digestion. You nod politely, taking the dish with gentle fingers. The petals smell faintly sweet, like summer trying to survive inside these stone walls. Your mother's voice hums quietly beside you. They mix rose and mint now, to keep breath sweet, especially before courtship conversations. You place a petal delicately upon your tongue. The sweetness melts quickly. Almost pleasant. Almost. You wonder briefly how many concoctions you have swallowed in your life. Vinegar rinses, pearl paste, egg white mixtures, chalk dust rouge, all layered carefully beneath the promise of beauty. And beneath all of it, poison. Always poison. The music shifts once again, a softer tune, slower, designed for intimacy. Lord Hawthorne rises, stepping away from your father. He circles the table carefully, approaching you once more. His smile is measured, polite. Would you honor me again, Lady Eleanor? You rise with a practiced grace, the velvet pulling softly at your legs as you step free. He offers his hand, warm, dry. The floor feels smoother now beneath your feet as you glide back onto the polished stone. The other dancers begin to shift into pairs. The hall grows quieter, voices dropping as they watch, always watching. You breathe carefully through your nose, keep the warmth low, keep the powder safe. The dance begins. Your fingers rest lightly in Lord Hawthorne's. The distance between your bodies is exact, not too close, not too far. Your gowns swirl gently with each turn. The candles reflect in his eyes. You carry yourself well, Lady Eleanor, he says softly. I was taught to. His lips twitch faintly, almost a smile. You do not enjoy these gatherings. You pause. The safe answer would be simple, but you whisper, almost too quietly, they are necessary. His brow lifts ever so slightly. Surprised? Or entertained? You can't tell. For a moment,
The dance fades. Your hand slips gently from Lord Hawthorne's as the music sighs into its final note. You lower your gaze politely, the way you've practiced. There is a brief hush in the hall. The silence is never empty. Even when no one speaks, they speak. With glances, with small smiles, with the careful lift of an eyebrow, assuming they still have any. You step back, your gown whispering against the polished stone as you move. Lord Hawthorne offers a soft bow, measured, respectful, but not dismissive. He is considering you. Your mother watches from the shadows, her face smooth and unreadable. The soft flicker of candlelight hides nothing from her. Another step in the performance has been completed. You are led to a small side chamber, a resting room for the young ladies. The air here is cooler, quieter. Only the faint hum of distant music seeps through the thick stone walls. The other girls gather in small clusters, speaking in gentle tones.
Their voice is laced with laughter too quiet to be sincere. Their gowns ripple like colorful waves beneath the heavy glow of candlelight. You settle near a long wooden bench, your hands folded lightly across your lap. The velvet gown presses into your skin. The powder clings. A small mirror hangs crookedly on the far wall, a polished disc of pewter, reflecting your pale face back at you. You study yourself for a moment. The painted veins still show faintly beneath your neckline. The rouge remains soft, perfectly balanced. The egg-white glaze continues to hold your skin tight, smooth, porcelain, fragile. You imagine cracking, not suddenly, like shattered glass, but slowly, like old plaster drying beneath heat, tiny fissures forming beneath the surface, hidden for now, but inevitable. The lead will find its way into your blood, as it always does. The price of beauty isn't charged all at once. It collects, quietly, patiently. Your mother once called it the noble sickness, so common it barely earns a whisper. You see it already in the older women, the trembling hands, the yellowed teeth, the thinning hair beneath their heavy veils. But they remain beautiful. That's what matters. That's what they were promised. Lady Celine steps into the chamber. Her gown gleams faintly under the candlelight, a shimmering pale lavender embroidered with tiny silver lilies. Marjorie trails behind her, face stiff with tension. Her rouge has faded slightly. The faint flush of true heat betrays her. Lady Celine's eyes sweep across the room until they find you. She offers a polite smile, sharp and cold beneath its softness. She steps closer, lowering her voice just enough that others cannot hear. My daughter enjoys your company, you know. Such poise at your age, truly remarkable. The compliment is wrapped in silk, but beneath it hides the needle. You're young. Your competition. Marjorie stands behind her mother, eyes avoiding yours. Her hands twitch faintly at her sides. You wonder how many layers of powder hide the pink beneath her skin tonight, how tightly the corset binds her ribs to keep her posture sharp, how many of her own evenings have started with vinegar cloths and ended with egg-white glazes. You nod politely. It is an honor to be among such company. Lady Celine's smile lingers for a moment longer, then she glides away, her daughter trailing like a silent shadow. The war remains unspoken. It is always is. The chamber door opens again. Your mother steps inside quietly. Her eyes find you instantly. It's nearly time, she whispers. You rise, smoothing your gown once more. The weight follows you like a patient ghost. Your father is waiting at the front hall. Lord Hawthorne stands beside him, speaking softly with the steward. Their conversation pauses as you approach. Lord Hawthorne glances at you again, studying, measuring. He speaks first. My lady, the evening has grown late, but I hope I may call upon your family again soon. Your father smiles. We would be honored, my lord. The words hang in the air, thin, heavy, important. You offer another soft smile. My lord. He bows gently, then steps back into the hall. The door closes behind him. Your father's face remains calm, but you sense the quiet satisfaction beneath his eyes.
Good. Very good. The carriage waits outside. You step back into its wooden embrace, the door closing with a hollow thud behind you. The lamps flicker as the horses begin to pull forward, wheels creaking beneath you. The night air presses cool against the glass windows. You exhale softly, feeling your breath cloud the glass. Your mother speaks gently. You did well. You nod. You always nod. The carriage rolls forward through the quiet streets. Stone walls pass by like slow, silent sentinels beneath the pale moonlight. You glance upward. The sky is clear tonight. The stars look so distant, farther than any future you've been allowed to imagine.
The carriage rocks gently beneath you. Each turn of the wheels feels like a lullaby, slow, steady, hypnotic. Outside, the village sinks into its nighttime hush. Shutters closed, lanterns dimmed. Only the soft clatter of hooves breaks the quiet. You lean your head lightly against the wooden frame. The cool window pane soothes your temple, though you dare not press too hard, lest the powder shift. Your mother sits across from you, her eyes closed for a moment, resting. Her breathing is slow, even. Even beauty needs sleep. You watch her face. The powder holds, but beneath it, the signs have begun. The faint lines near her mouth, the small spots along her jawline where the skin no longer heals so easily. You wonder if she sees them too. Perhaps she does. Perhaps she no longer cares. Or perhaps she tells herself the same story you tell yourself. Tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow I will be careful. Tomorrow the lead will not find me. The carriage turns gently as it leaves the stone road for the softer path toward your estate. The gravel crunches beneath the wheels, softer now, more familiar. Your home glows faintly ahead, its windows lit by the last of the servant lamps. The horse is slow. The carriage stops. The door opens with a soft groan. Your father steps out first, followed by your mother. You descend carefully, gripping the edge of your gown, feeling the cool night air slip beneath the heavy fabric. The household servants wait quietly near the doorway, heads bowed, faces calm. They have seen this ritual 100 times before. You step inside. The familiar smell of old stone and damp wool welcomes you. The fire in the hearth has faded to soft embers. Upstairs, your chamber waits. The maid helps you carefully unfasten the hooks of your gown. Her fingers work gently, quick and practiced. The velvet falls away. Your skin breathes again, lightly, briefly. The white powder remains. Your mother enters behind you, watching as the maid begins the next part of the ritual, the cleansing. Soft cloths soaked in warm vinegar dab gently at your cheeks. The white powder lifts slowly, grain by grain. It stings faintly. You hold your breath. The maid works silently, careful not to scrub too hard. The skin beneath is delicate now, thinned from years of daily applications. The slightest tear could leave a mark. The rouge fades. The painted veins wash away. The illusion dissolves. What remains beneath is your true face, pale, tired, softly hollow. Your mother steps forward, inspecting your skin with sharp but quiet eyes. "No new sores tonight," she murmurs softly. "Good." The relief is so small, you barely feel it. The maid steps back, folding the cloths neatly. The wooden chest at the corner of the room waits. Tomorrow's powders already prepared, ready to begin again. You lower yourself onto the edge of your straw-stuffed mattress. The familiar roughness of the fabric greets your fingers as you fold your hands gently across your lap. The room is quiet. Only the faint pop of the last embers breaks the silence. Your mother's voice hums softly. "Lord Hawthorne will return soon." You nod. You always nod. "She seems pleased," she continues. "He sees your worth." You do not answer. What is worth? Is it this pale skin, this painted face, this silent routine of powders and poisons? Or is it simply the absence of failure? You stare into the faint reflection of the copper disc on the wall. Tomorrow you will begin again. The vinegar, the lead, the rouge, the egg whites, the careful painting of your veins. Each morning, a new mask. Each evening, a slow erasure. Your mother approaches softly. She lowers herself beside you, her hands resting lightly on your folded fingers. Her voice is quiet, so quiet you almost believe it could be kind. "You're strong, child," she whispers softly. The words surprise you. You never feel strong. "You carry it well," she continues, "better than I did." For a moment, you almost ask her something. Why? Why did you begin? Why did you never stop? Why did any of you believe this was the only way? But you do not ask, because the answer sits quietly in both of your eyes. There is no other way. Not for women like you. The maid returns quietly, holding a small vial, a mixture of herbs and syrup, something to settle your stomach, something to calm the nerves beneath your skin after another long night of quiet judgment. You drink it slowly, feeling the thick sweetness coat your throat. The mixture tastes faintly of honey, fennel, and something bitter under it, always something bitter. You lie back onto the straw mattress, the fabric scratchy against your skin. The candle by your bedside flickers. Your mother rises, drawing the blanket gently over your shoulders. "Sleep," she whispers softly. "You must look rested." You close your eyes, and as the room fades, you hear her footsteps move gently across the floor. The door closes softly behind her. The silence returns.
The morning arrives like a soft gray mist. You wake before the light fully enters the room. The candle by your bedside has burned out, leaving a thin trail of smoke twisting toward the ceiling. The air smells faintly of wax and wool, mixed with the old scent of vinegar that never fully leaves these walls. You lie still for a moment, listening. The house breathes softly around you. Wooden beams creak gently as they stretch into the new day. Your hands rest on your stomach beneath the thin wool blanket. Your skin feels bare beneath it. For a brief moment, you imagine what it would feel like to rise and not reach for the powder, to let your face remain as it is, to meet the sun without fear of color. The thought feels impossible, foolish, but still it lingers. The door creaks open softly. Your maid steps inside, already carrying the small wooden tray. The routine begins. The water is warm. The cloths are clean. You sit upright as she begins dabbing your face with the vinegar-soaked cloth, carefully, gently. The sting is familiar. You barely notice it anymore. Your mother enters behind her, dressed and prepared, her own face already powdered into perfection. Her eyes scan you with quiet precision. "No redness today?" she says softly. "Good." The lead powder jar is opened next. The soft pad glides across your cheeks, covering your skin in the fine white dust. Each stroke erases you a little more. Beneath the powder, you know the truth of your skin, the faint blotches, the thinning texture, the places where your pores refuse to stay closed. But they are hidden now. The egg-white glaze smooths your jaw. The faint brush of crushed pearl adds the delicate shimmer expected of someone in your position. The blue vein brush follows. Gentle, practiced lines across your chest and throat. Veins that may as well be invented. Delicate. Elegant. False. You glance at your reflection in the copper mirror. You are becoming her again. Breakfast is light. It is always light. A thin slice of bread, a cup of watered wine, a few pale slices of apple. Nothing that risks color, nothing that invites the blush of energy to your cheeks. The table is quiet as your parents speak softly about the day ahead. Lord Hawthorne has requested another visit. The words hang like soft clouds above your plate. Your father speaks of trade routes, of land, of dowries. Your mother nods with careful smiles. You sit silently, hands folded neatly, your breath slow and measured. They do not ask for your opinion. They never have. Your presence at the table is your contribution. Your silence is your duty. Your beauty is your value. The carriage arrives, again, by midday. The streets remain quiet as you travel, your velvet gown pressing once more against your skin. Lord Hawthorne awaits you at the gardens of his estate. A private meeting, a careful display of interest. The air is cooler beneath the heavy stone arches as you arrive. Thin vines curl up along the walls, their green leaves dancing softly in the breeze. He greets you with a polite bow. "Lady Eleonora," he says, his voice calm, practiced. "It pleases me to see you." You lower your gaze slightly. "My lord." He offers his arm. You place your gloved hand gently upon it as he leads you into the garden paths. The stone beneath your feet is smooth and cold. The scent of lavender drifts softly through the air. For a few minutes, neither of you speak. The silence feels oddly comfortable, but not safe. Never safe. Finally, he speaks again. "You carry yourself well." The same compliment, repeated, words spoken more out of obligation than warmth. "You honor me, my lord." He glances toward you. "I suspect you understand your position quite well." You pause at his choice of words. "My position?" He smiles faintly. "Your beauty is admired, Lady Eleonora, but beauty is only one part of the marriage." His words are not cruel, only truthful. You glance toward the distant hills beyond the garden walls. They stretch far, soft and green beneath the pale sky. Freedom always lies just beyond the walls, but it never belongs to you. The morning arrives like a soft gray mist. You wake before the light fully enters the room. The candle by your bedside has burned out, leaving a thin trail of smoke twisting toward the ceiling. The air smells faintly of wax and wool, mixed with the old scent of vinegar that never fully leaves these walls. You lie still for a moment, listening. The house breathes softly around you. Wooden beams creak gently as they stretch into the new day. Your hands rest on your stomach beneath the thin wool blanket. Your skin feels bare beneath it. For a brief moment, you imagine what it would feel like to rise and not reach for the powder, to let your face remain as it is, to meet the sun without fear of color. The thought feels impossible, foolish, but still it lingers. The door creaks open softly. Your maid steps inside, already carrying the small wooden tray. The routine begins. The water is warm. The cloths are clean. You sit upright as she begins dabbing your face with the vinegar-soaked cloth, carefully, gently. The sting is familiar. You barely notice it anymore. Your mother enters behind her, dressed and prepared, her own face already powdered into perfection. Her eyes scan you with quiet precision. "No redness today?" she says softly. "Good." The lead powder jar is opened next. The soft pad glides across your cheeks, covering your skin in the fine white dust. Each stroke erases you a little more. Beneath the powder, you know the truth of your skin. The faint blotches, the thinning texture, the places where your pores refuse to stay closed. But they are hidden now. The egg-white glaze smooths your jaw. The faint brush of crushed pearl adds the delicate shimmer expected of someone in your position. The blue vein brush follows. Gentle, practiced lines across your chest and throat. Veins that may as well be invented. Delicate. Elegant. False. You glance at your reflection in the copper mirror. You are becoming her again. Breakfast is light. It is always light. A thin slice of bread, a cup of watered wine, a few pale slices of apple. Nothing that risks color, nothing that invites the blush of energy to your cheeks. The table is quiet as your parents speak softly about the day ahead. Lord Hawthorne has requested another visit. The words hang like soft clouds above your plate. Your father speaks of trade routes, of land, of dowries. Your mother nods with careful smiles. You sit silently, hands folded neatly, your breath slow and measured. They do not ask for your opinion. They never have. Your presence at the table is your contribution. Your silence is your duty. Your beauty is your value. The carriage arrives, again, by midday. The streets remain quiet as you travel, your velvet gown pressing once more against your skin. Lord Hawthorne awaits you at the gardens of his estate. A private meeting, a careful display of interest. The air is cooler beneath the heavy stone arches as you arrive. Thin vines curl up along the walls, their green leaves dancing softly in the breeze. He greets you with a polite bow. "Lady Eleonora," he says, his voice calm, practiced. "It pleases me to see you." You lower your gaze slightly. "My lord." He offers his arm. You place your gloved hand gently upon it as he leads you into the garden paths. The stone beneath your feet is smooth and cold. The scent of lavender drifts softly through the air. For a few minutes, neither of you speak. The silence feels oddly comfortable, but not safe. Never safe. Finally, he speaks again. "You carry yourself well." The same compliment, repeated, words spoken more out of obligation than warmth. "You honor me, my lord." He glances toward you. "I suspect you understand your position quite well." You pause at his choice of words. "My position?" He smiles faintly. "Your beauty is admired, Lady Eleonora, but beauty is only one part of the marriage." His words are not cruel, only truthful. You glance toward the distant hills beyond the garden walls. They stretch far, soft and green beneath the pale sky. Freedom always lies just beyond the walls, but it never belongs to you.
The wheels turn gently beneath you once again. The rhythm of the carriage rocks you back and forth like a child's cradle. Steady, predictable, quiet. The silence feels heavier today. Your hands rest on your lap, fingers laced gently together. The gloves press lightly against your skin, soft as they pretend to be. Outside the window, the world passes in soft colors: green fields, gray stone walls, crooked little cottages leaning together beneath the pale sky. You do not envy them, or perhaps you do. The peasants are poor, rough-skinned, sun-darkened, uneducated, but they are not painted. They laugh freely. They sweat beneath the open sky. They marry who they choose, or at least who their families can tolerate. You do not know if that is freedom, but you know it is different. Your estate gates creak open as the carriage returns. The servants wait by the front steps, faces composed. Your mother greets you at the door, her gaze sweeping quickly across your face. She always looks for signs. The powder holds. The rouge remains even. The paint has not cracked. She relaxes. "Did it go well?" she asks softly. You nod. You always nod. Her voice lowers as you step inside. Lord Hawthorne's intentions are becoming clear. You know what she means. The discussions behind closed doors are already taking shape. The negotiations, the contracts, the quiet exchange of property and bloodlines. You are not consulted. You are the part being exchanged. It is not cruelty. It is simply how things are. Your value has been carefully constructed. Your face, your skin, your posture, your silence. The dowry follows. The land merges. The alliances strengthen. That is the way of noble marriages. Your maid appears again by the chamber door. The routine waits for you. The vinegar, the powders, the creams. Each day begins with paint. Each evening ends with erasure. The cloth dabs gently across your cheek as the maid whispers soft apologies when the vinegar stings. Your skin tingles beneath the touch. The lead sits inside you now, not only on the surface. You wonder how long it takes before the signs appear. For some, it begins as tremors in the hands. For others, hair thins, teeth loosen, memory slips. But always the skin changes, and always the powders cover it again. The days pass softly, like silk being pulled through patient hands. Each visit from Lord Hawthorne feels the same. Careful words, measured smiles, calculated compliments. You learn little about him. He learns little about you. That is not the point. The contract writes itself in unspoken language. You sit together beneath the garden arches. You walk slowly past the fountains. You discuss safe things. The priests have begun their whispers. The formal announcement will come soon. A marriage like this serves many needs. His estate will grow. Your family will rise. Your body will bear his children. Your face will adorn his name. The powder will remain. Always. One evening, as the sun sinks low, you find yourself standing alone in your chamber. The mirror catches your reflection once again. You stare into your own eyes. The face looks familiar, and yet distant. The high forehead, the hollow cheeks, the perfect pallor. You gently touch your temple, feeling the place where hair once grew, the brows that were plucked away years ago. You barely remember what your face looked like before. The powders have erased it slowly, layer by layer, year by year. You wonder, if you stopped tomorrow, would your face even remember how to be your own? The knock on the door is soft. Your mother steps inside. She carries a small wooden box, one you recognize. Inside rests a fine silver comb, a pair of delicate earrings, and a thin gold chain. "These are yours now," she says softly. You run your fingers lightly across the comb's polished edge. It is beautiful, heavy, final. "These were my mother's.
she adds quietly. She sits beside you, her hands resting lightly on yours. For a moment, her voice softens. We do this for survival, child. You listen. It may not seem like kindness, but we are not peasants. We cannot live like them. We must be seen. Her words float like silk in the air. You will have safety, a name, a place. You nod, because what else is there to say? Later that night, as you lie beneath the thin blanket, staring up at the wooden beams above, your mind drifts softly. What if you had been born a boy? Would you have walked freely beneath the sun? Would your skin bear warmth instead of powder? Would you have spoken boldly, laughed loudly, chosen freely? The questions circle quietly, like gentle moths flickering around the
The house is busier today. Quieter voices behind closed doors. Servants carrying ledgers. The steward whispering numbers. Letters arriving from distant estates. You hear them as you sit in your chamber. Their words float beneath your door like faint shadows. Land. Titles. Dowry. The final negotiations. You are not invited to these conversations. There is nothing for you to add. Your face has already spoken on your behalf. Your maid works in silence, smoothing another layer of pearl paste across your cheek. The mixture smells faintly of crushed shells and vinegar. The texture is cool against your skin. You sit still. The light through the narrow window is soft today, a pale, clouded sun filtering through the dust. A perfect day for pale skin. Your mother enters, dressed in her finest silk, the pale lavender gown trimmed with silver. Her veil floats softly behind her as she moves. Her eyes sweep across your face. She says nothing at first. There is nothing to correct. Your skin holds the proper shade. You will meet the priest this afternoon. The betrothal blessing will be performed. The words land softly. Betrothal. Not marriage, not yet, but close. The priest's blessing makes it official. A contract wrapped in holy words. A deal sealed beneath the eye of God. You nod. You always nod. The chapel is small but elegant. Carved stone pillars, high arched windows, pale sunlight cutting across the wooden pews. The air smells of old wax, damp stone, and faint lavender oil.
You stand beside Lord Hawthorne as the priest speaks. His voice hums softly, reciting words you barely hear. The phrases blur, familiar and heavy. Duty, honor, union, obedience. Your hands rest lightly in Lord Hawthorne's, his grip steady but cool. He speaks his vows in a calm, practiced voice. You repeat yours softly, feeling the words pass your lips like thin silk. The priest raises his hands in blessing. It is done. The chapel is silent, except for the soft shuffle of feet. Your mother watches from the pew, her face unreadable. Your father nods softly, as though confirming a successful business transaction. Lord Hawthorne offers you a faint smile. You return it. The weight in your stomach sits quietly. Not fear, not exactly, just the quiet heaviness of inevitability. The feast that evening is modest but elegant. Long tables lined with silverware, thin goblets and carefully arranged fruit. Your gown feels heavier today, though it is no different than yesterday. The tightness beneath your ribs reminds you to breathe slowly. The rouge on your cheeks remains subtle, just enough to seem modest, not eager. The other noble families watch. The other girls watch. Marjorie watches. Her face is paler than usual tonight. Perhaps she is tired. Perhaps her powders are wearing thin. Lady Celine sits beside her, lips drawn into a polite but tight smile. Your mother's voice hums softly beside you. You are winning, child. Are you? You glance at your reflection in the polished silver of your goblet. The face staring back feels distant, like someone you've been playing for years. The perfect porcelain mask, the fragile performance. Later, as the music rises, you find yourself seated beside Lord Hawthorne again. His words are gentle, polite. He speaks of the wedding date, of estate matters, of dowry arrangements. You listen, not because you have anything to offer, but because it is expected. He watches you carefully. You will bring honor to my house, Lady Eleonora. You offer him the soft smile you have mastered. It is my duty, my lord. He nods, pleased. Duty, that word again. Always duty. As the evening fades, you step outside briefly, away from the hall, into the cool garden air. The night is quiet. The stone walls rise around you like silent witnesses. The moon hangs low, its pale glow reflecting faintly off the silver comb in your hair. You walk slowly along the garden path, fingers brushing lightly against the stone. The vines twist softly along the walls, green leaves curling beneath the moonlight. For a brief moment, you imagine slipping through one of the narrow gaps between the walls, walking beyond the estate, beyond the fields, beyond the endless expectations. But the thought fades quickly. You cannot. You never could. You were born to be seen, and in being seen, you disappear. The maid finds you gently and leads you back inside. Your chamber waits, the vinegar waits, the powders wait. The quiet war continues. You sit as the maid begins the slow ritual of cleansing your face. The cloth wipes gently across your cheek. The sting returns. The powder lifts, revealing your skin once again. The thin red patch along your jawline has grown slightly. Your mother inspects it. A small irritation, she says softly. Nothing to worry over. Not yet. You wonder, softly.
The days fold softly into one another, like silk being stacked carefully, layer upon layer.
Each morning arrives with the same gray light, the same soft creak of your door, the same scent of vinegar filling the room before your eyes even open. The preparations for the wedding are well underway. The house grows busier. Servants move like quiet shadows, sewing, scrubbing, arranging. Visitors arrive with gifts. Letters arrive with instructions. The steward carries numbers on scrolls. Your father speaks in soft but firm tones behind closed doors. You listen to all of it from your chair near the window. Your maid dabs the vinegar cloth gently across your face, washing away what little warmth the night has given your skin. Stay still, my lady. You stay still. The lead powder follows. The brush glides across your cheeks. The blue vein lines are painted carefully. The egg white smooths your forehead. The rouge whispers color into your cheeks. Each day, a new mask. Each day, the same woman. Your mother enters, her silk gown rustling softly behind her. Her face is perfect, but the faint tremble in her hand betrays the years beneath the powder. She sits beside you, smoothing the fold of your sleeve. "The seamstress will arrive shortly," she says. "They bring your wedding gown." You nod. The wedding gown. The final layer. The heaviest fabric. The most delicate embroidery. The most painful corset. The gown that will announce to every eye in the room, you have succeeded. You have become what you were born to become. The seamstress arrives with 2 assistants, carrying bundles of pale silk wrapped carefully in linen. They move with quiet reverence, laying the gown out across the bed as if handling something sacred. The gown shimmers softly beneath the morning light. Ivory silk embroidered with silver ivy, tiny pearls sewn into the hem, the bodice tight and high. The sleeves are long, fitted perfectly to elongate the arms, the neckline modest but structured, designed to draw the eye upward to the smooth, high forehead. Your mother runs her fingers along the embroidery. It is beautiful. It is, in a way. The seamstress bows her head. "The measurements are precise, my lady." You feel the weight of their eyes on you as you step forward. The gown slides over your body like cold water. The silk clings. The corset tightens. Your breath shortens. The assistants work quickly, fastening tiny silver hooks up the back. When they finish, you step toward the mirror. The woman staring back at you looks untouchable. The pale skin, the hollow cheeks, the smooth shining forehead, the perfect stillness. A painting come to life. Or perhaps a painting pretending to be alive. Your mother smiles softly behind you. "Lord Hawthorne will be pleased." You nod. You always nod. The days continue like gentle waves. Lord Hawthorne visits frequently now, but the conversations remain shallow. He speaks of the wedding arrangements, of the guests, of the priest's final blessings. You answer politely, soft smiles, soft words. He never asks about your fears, your hopes, your thoughts. Perhaps he assumes you have none. Perhaps it is easier to believe you are as smooth inside as your powdered skin appears. You are not angry, not even sad, just tired. The night before the wedding, the house grows strangely still. The servants retire early.
The halls echo softly beneath your footsteps as you walk alone. You find yourself standing in front of the chapel, its heavy wooden doors closed, its small arched windows glowing faintly from within. You press your fingers lightly against the stone. The cold seeps into your skin. Inside, the altar waits. The priest waits. The vows wait. Beyond that, the future you have been prepared for since your first jar of powder touched your skin. You close your eyes. What if you ran? What if you slipped out into the night, through the village, beyond the fields? What would become of you? A noblewoman without title, without name, without purpose. You would be seen, but not in the way you have been trained. They would call you mad, or worse. You open your eyes. You will not run. Of course not. You never could. You were never meant to. Later in your chamber, the maid prepares you for sleep. The cleansing cloths sting a little more tonight. The red patch along your jaw has grown whiter. Your mother watches. "It will fade," she says softly. "After the wedding, you may rest more." You do not reply. The blanket is pulled gently over your shoulders. The candle flickers beside you. You close your eyes, listening to the house breathing around.
The first mornings after the wedding arrive quietly, not with celebration, not with change, only with routine. The chamber is larger now, the ceilings higher, the windows wider, the walls colder. But still you wake to the same soft creak of the door, the same careful footsteps of your maid entering, the same quiet tray of vinegar, powders, brushes, waiting patiently beside you. Marriage changes little for women like you. The powder remains. The routine continues. The maid works gently, wiping the vinegar-soaked cloth across your cheeks, lifting any hint of life from your skin. The lead powder follows, falling like fine snowfall upon your face. The veins are drawn again, the rouge applied lightly. The mask is restored, as it must be. Lord Hawthorne greets you in the hall for breakfast. The long table stretches beneath tall windows, letting in the soft morning light. He speaks softly of estate matters, the price of wheat, the latest news from court, a neighboring marriage alliance being arranged. You listen. He does not ask for your thoughts. Your presence is enough. The meal is light, as always. A thin slice of bread, a cup of wine diluted with water, a few slices of pale fruit. Enough to nourish, not enough to flush. Your stomach accepts it quietly. The days blend together like gentle threads woven into a pale fabric. You walk the gardens. You sit in the sun, but not too long. You attend small gatherings with other noble families. Their faces mirror your own, pale, painted, silent. The older women wear heavier veils now. The powder cannot hide everything forever. Their hands tremble slightly as they lift goblets. Their teeth are softer now beneath thin smiles, but they are still beautiful, at least beautiful enough. You study them quietly. You wonder when your hands will begin to tremble. Occasionally your mother visits. She arrives with her same smooth mask, her same gentle smile. She studies your skin carefully, her eyes resting for a moment on the faint red patch along your jawline. "It remains small," she says softly. "You are managing it well." You smile politely. Your mother sips her tea, her hands wrapped carefully around the cup. Her own fingers tremble faintly now. Not enough to draw comment. Not yet. "We endure, child," she whispers. "It is what women like us do." You nod. You always nod.
The household grows accustomed to your presence. Servants learn your silences. The steward learns your preferences. The cooks learn which meals please your lord and which ones return untouched. Your days are soft, measured, predictable, and beneath it all, the quiet truth grows heavier. The powder is no longer a daily choice. It is your skin. It is your armor. It is your life. One afternoon, as you sit beneath the shaded arches of the garden, a letter arrives. The steward hands it to you with a polite bow. You recognize the seal, your mother's. You open it carefully. The words are soft, polite, gentle. She writes of the household, of your father's recent trade, of the latest noble marriages being arranged. At the bottom, a single line lingers. Your sisters begin their own preparations now. You pause, reading it again. Your younger sisters, they will follow. The vinegar cloth, the lead powder, the slow painting of veins, the careful plucking of brows, the tightening of corsets. Their faces will become like yours. Their days will mirror yours. You fold the letter slowly as you close it, your fingers tracing the wax seal. The sun drifts lower as the day fades. Shadows stretch long across the garden walls. You rise slowly, the silk of your gown whispering around your legs. The air cools against your skin as you walk. The servants lower their heads politely as you pass. You walk softly, your steps measured. Each movement feels as if rehearsed, and perhaps it is. That evening, the maid performs the cleansing again. The cloth dabs across your cheek. The sting returns. The red patch remains. The maid pauses slightly, then continues. The powder lifts, revealing the thin, tired skin beneath. You study your reflection quietly. The same face, the same hollow softness, the same slow erasure. Your mother's words return softly in your mind. We endure. You lie back beneath the blanket. The candle flickers beside you. The house breathes its familiar, silent rhythm. Tomorrow you will wake. The vinegar will wait. The powder will fall, and the world will see you. Beautiful, perfect, erased.
Morning arrives heavier than before. The light filters pale and thin through the narrow window. The room feels smaller somehow, the air thicker. Even the silence seems to press against your skin. Your maid enters before your eyes fully open. She moves more carefully today, her steps softer, her hands steadier. The final preparation has begun. The familiar sting of vinegar touches your skin. The cloth wipes slowly across your cheeks, lifting any trace of natural warmth left from the night. You sit still. You know exactly where each brush will land. The lead powder follows next, soft, cool, familiar. The pale layer settles over your face like snowfall. The veins are painted next, the fine blue brush tracing delicate lines across your throat and chest. The egg-white glaze smooths your skin to its porcelain shine. The rouge is lighter today, more modest. A bride should not appear too eager. The thin silver headband is placed carefully across your forehead, pulling your hairline back into its perfect arc. The eyebrows are gone. As always, you stare softly at your reflection. The woman in the copper mirror looks finished. Your mother enters quietly, dressed in ceremonial silk, her veil trailing behind her. She studies your face. She nods. It is good. Her voice is calm, but beneath it, you hear something else.
Relief? Pride? Perhaps even sadness? It doesn't matter. The steward arrives at the door. The carriage is ready, my lady. Your father waits downstairs, already speaking in low tones with the priest and Lord Hawthorne's men. You descend the steps slowly, the weight of your gown pressing against your hips with each careful stride. The house feels larger today. Or perhaps you feel smaller. The carriage ride is silent. The roads are lined with villagers standing quietly as you pass. Some smile politely, some bow, some simply watch. You imagine what they see. The pale bride, the perfect gown, the flawless skin. They do not see the powder, the vinegar burns, the hidden sores beneath the silk. They see success. You watch the fields drift by, wide, open, green. You will not walk them. Not now. Not ever. The road narrows as you approach Lord Hawthorne's estate. High stone walls rise on either side, curling ivy climbing up their faces like silent witnesses. The gates creak open. The carriage rolls forward. The chapel is larger than yours, grander. Its heavy wooden doors swing wide as you arrive. The crowd inside is polite, controlled. Noble families lined neatly along the rows, their faces pale beneath their own layers of powder. The air smells of burning wax, crushed herbs, and polished stone. Lord Hawthorne stands at the front, waiting beneath the high arches. You step forward slowly, each movement deliberate. The silk of your gown whispers against the stone floor. The priest begins to speak. The words float upward, blending into the vaulted ceiling. You do not hear them. You know them already. Duty, honor, union, obedience. The words have been sewn into your skin for years. You lift your chin slightly, presenting your smooth forehead beneath the flickering candlelight. The vows are exchanged. His voice is steady. Yours is softer. Your hands rest in his, firm, warm, careful not to disturb the powder on your knuckles. The priest lowers his hands in final blessing. The ceremony is complete. You are his. The feast begins. Long tables stretch beneath towering windows. The light glistens across polished silver and delicate plates. The courses are light, elegant. Thin broths, small fish, pale fruits, tiny sugared almonds. Nothing that risks too much color. The guests speak softly. Their eyes drift across you. Compliments float like gentle feathers. Such grace, such refinement, such perfect beauty. You smile softly. You always smile softly. Your mother sits nearby, her eyes flickering toward you often. Her mask holds as firmly as yours. You wonder if she remembers her own wedding day. You wonder if she felt as distant then as you feel now. As the music rises, Lord Hawthorne takes your hand for the first dance as husband and wife. The hall watches. The musicians play softly, the melody slow and careful. Your feet glide across the polished stone, the silk of your gown floating behind you like a pale cloud. His hand holds yours lightly. You are a vision, he whispers. You offer him the smile he expects. My lord. The dance turns, and with each slow rotation, the world around you blurs gently. The candles, the watching eyes, the powdered faces, all turning, all repeating.
Time becomes soft.
You lose track of how many mornings you've woken beneath this same pale light, how many times the vinegar cloth touched your cheeks, how many times the powder fell like silent snow onto your skin. The days repeat like a gentle melody played over and over, familiar, predictable, quiet. The seasons shift outside the estate walls. You see it in the distant fields. The sunflowers have begun to fade. The leaves curl, changing color slowly. The air carries the first thin taste of autumn. But inside these stone walls, the routine remains unchanged. The powder never cares for seasons. You sit in the grand hall beside Lord Hawthorne as guests arrive for the harvest gathering. Noble families greet one another with the same delicate words, compliments wrapped in soft daggers. The women sit tall in their gowns, faces pale, smooth, untouched by the labor of the fields outside. The men speak of grain, trade, and the king's latest decrees. The young women glance toward you as they pass, some too young for the full powder yet, their brows still untouched, their cheeks still warm with natural blush. They are being prepared. You watch them softly. You wonder if they envy you. They shouldn't, but they do, because they see only what they have been taught to see: success, perfection, victory. Lord Hawthorne leans closer as one guest departs. "The house gains respect under your name," he says softly. You offer him a gentle smile. "That pleases me, my lord." It is the same polite dance you've both performed since your first meeting. He watches you with pride, not for your words, not for your thoughts, for your face, for the flawless mask you maintain. The illusion holds. That is all that matters. Later, you walk alone through the narrow gallery behind the great hall. The walls are lined with portraits, the painted faces of women long gone, their skin pale as marble, their foreheads smooth, their eyes soft and silent beneath powdered lids. You pause beneath one frame. The woman stares back at you. Her gown is heavy with silver thread. Her hands rest perfectly in her lap. Her lips curve into the faintest, practiced smile. You wonder if she once stood where you stand now. You wonder if she thought the same quiet thoughts you carry inside you. Did her skin flake beneath the powder? Did her jawline redden beneath the daily cloths? Did her hands tremble one day beneath the heavy silk? You will never know. No one remembers her name. Only her face remains. The days continue. Your sisters visit briefly with your mother. They arrive with their own maids now. The training has begun. You see it in their eyes, a mix of nervousness and pride. Their brows are thinner, their cheeks paler. The powder jars have opened. Your mother beams softly. They are learning well. You smile for her. You always smile for her. But when you hold your sister's hand beneath the table, you feel her fingers tremble faintly. Her voice whispers, "Is it difficult?" You squeeze her hand gently. It becomes easier. You lie for her, softly, kindly. That night, As your maid removes the powder, you study your reflection again. The red patch has grown. Thin cracks form along your temple. The skin stretches tightly in places. The weight beneath the surface grows heavier. But still the powder holds during the day. Still the illusion survives. Your mother's words float softly in your mind. We endure. The candle flickers beside you as the blanket is pulled up once more. The house breathes quietly. You close your eyes, and you vanish into the soft gray of another night.
Autumn deepens. The leaves beyond the estate walls fall gently, one by one. The fields turn brown. The air carries a soft chill now, slipping through the narrow windows of the great house. Inside, nothing changes. The vinegar still stings your skin each morning. The powder still falls in its pale cloud. The rouge still brushes your cheeks with careful whispers of color. The blue veins still curl beneath your neckline. The mask remains. It must. Your maid works more slowly now. Her fingers pause more often as she dabs at your cheeks. The red patches along your jawline have darkened. The skin beneath your eyes has thinned. Sometimes, as she works, her hands tremble faintly, perhaps from the cold, or perhaps from watching what is happening beneath your painted skin. She never says anything. Neither do you. This is not her decision. This is not yours. In the grand hall, the noble families gather once more for winter planning. The conversations repeat: wheat prices, church alliances, royal gossip, dowries for daughters not yet powdered. You sit beside Lord Hawthorne, smiling softly, as always. His voice hums politely in your ear. We are well positioned this season. You nod. Yes, my lord. He glances toward you as you sip from your goblet. You remain lovely, Eleonora. The words are meant to flatter. They do not reach you. Not anymore. You offer him your soft smile. My lord is kind. Later, walking through the gallery again, you pause before the same portrait. The woman stares back unchanged. Her painted skin flawless, her hairline high, her eyebrows gone. You wonder again, does anyone remember who she was, what she loved, what she feared, or only that she was beautiful? You imagine your own portrait one day hanging here, a perfect face trapped forever beneath powder and paint. And beneath that, silence. Always silence. That evening the maid performs the cleansing again. The vinegar burns a little more. The cloth lingers longer at your temple. The skin breaks softly beneath it, a thin line of red. The maid pauses. Her voice is a whisper. My lady, we should call for the physician. You glance at her reflection behind you in the mirror. You shake your head gently. No. Her voice trembles, but no. You look back at your reflection. The crack is small. It will be covered tomorrow. It always has been. You cannot risk the gossip, not yet. The powder must hold. The mask must remain. As the candle flickers beside your bed,
Your mother sits quietly at your side. She watches you in the dim light, her veil drawn low across her face. Her own skin bears the signs now, soft lines, small sores hidden beneath heavy powders. Her voice is soft. "We are strong, child." You do not answer. She continues, "The world sees us, and that is enough." You close your eyes. But in the darkness, the questions return. Who sees you? Who remembers? Who are you beneath the paint? The silence offers no reply. The house breathes around you as you drift into sleep. The wooden beams groan softly. The wind whispers against the stone. The candle fades to a tiny red glow. And slowly, softly, you disappear once more.
Winter wraps the estate in quiet. The wind hums softly against the stone walls. The distant fields vanish beneath thin layers of frost. Inside, the routine holds steady. The vinegar, the powder, the blue veins, the soft rouge. Each morning, you sit beneath the same narrow window as your maid works carefully. Her hands pause more often now. Her eyes flicker briefly across your skin, but she says nothing. The red patch beneath your jawline has spread. The skin feels thinner. The tightness pulls more sharply as the egg white dries across your cheeks. But the mask holds. It must. Lord Hawthorne speaks often of estate matters these days. Trade concerns, tax collection, political shifts. He speaks. You listen. He watches you with pride, not because of your opinions, but because of your stillness, your perfection, your beauty. He does not notice the growing cracks beneath the powder. Or perhaps he chooses not to. The illusion is still strong enough to protect his name. And so you continue. The gatherings grow smaller as winter deepens. Many noble families remain in their homes, avoiding the cold. But those who visit arrive wearing heavier gowns, thicker veils, and deeper layers of powder. The older women hide more now. The younger ones watch carefully. You sit among them, your face smooth beneath the candlelight. They whisper softly. Her skin is still flawless. She manages it so well. Such grace. Their voices carry quiet envy. They do not see beneath the layers. They do not see the tiny cracks carefully hidden. They see only what they are meant to see. One evening, as you walk alone through the long gallery, the silence feels heavier. The portraits watch you from their frames. Dozens of pale faces. Dozens of forgotten names. Their beauty still perfect. Their lives erased. You pause before the same familiar portrait. The woman's smooth face stares back, her painted eyes frozen forever. You whisper softly into the empty gallery. Do they still speak your name? The silence answers, as it always does. No. Only they speak of your beauty. The maid works more carefully now. The cleansing takes longer. The vinegar burns more sharply. Thin lines appear along your jaw. Faint sores beneath your earlobe. The skin beneath your eyes has hollowed. The mask grows heavier with each passing day. You wonder softly how much longer it can hold. How much longer you can hold. Your mother visits less often now. Her own face has begun to fail beneath the powders. Her hands tremble as she lifts her veil. But her words remain steady. We endure, child. You offer her your practiced smile. But inside, the silence deepens. You do not feel like you are enduring. You feel like you are fading. That night, as you lie beneath the blanket, your thoughts drift. You imagine a world where beauty was never a measure of worth, where skin could age, where smiles could crack, where women could breathe beneath the sun. But that world never existed for you. You were born into this one, with the vinegar cloths, with the lead powders, with painted veins, with silent women disappearing beneath perfection. You close your eyes. The wind hums softly beyond the stone walls. The house creaks around you. The candle fades into nothing. And slowly, softly, you vanish once more. Spring returns softly. The air warms. The snow melts into quiet streams, trickling along the estate walls. The gardens wake slowly beneath pale sunlight. Tiny buds appear along the vines. The scent of damp earth drifts faintly through the open windows. But inside, the routine remains unchanged. The vinegar, the powder, the rouge. Each day begins beneath the brush. Each day, your maid's fingers pause a little longer. Her eyes linger a little more. The red patches beneath your skin spread like delicate threads. The sores beneath your jaw deepen softly. But the powder still holds, at least beneath candlelight, at least for now. Lord Hawthorne speaks of hosting a summer gathering. "Let them see our strength," he says softly over breakfast. "Let them see my wife." You smile for him. Always soft, always gentle. He speaks of alliances, of land, of respect. You sip your watered wine. The fruit on your plate remains untouched. Your stomach cannot carry much these days. The powder sits heavily beneath your skin. The lead moves deeper. You feel it quietly, but no one speaks of that. The summer preparations begin quickly. The servants move like careful shadows through the halls. Seamstresses arrive again with fresh fabric, measuring you quietly, their eyes flickering toward your skin but saying nothing. Your wedding gown no longer fits. The corset tightens a little more. The weight of the silk grows heavier. You do not resist. The silk, after all, is only one kind of weight. Your sisters visit once more. Their faces have grown paler since last autumn, their brows thinner, their posture stiffer. The training is nearly complete. Your mother beams with quiet pride. They are nearly ready. Your younger sister smiles nervously at you. Her skin is still soft, still pink beneath the powder. She is not yet hollowed. You reach for her hand, squeezing it gently. Her fingers tremble. You whisper softly, so only she can hear. "You are beautiful already." Her eyes glisten, but she nods. She always nods. The summer gathering arrives. The estate fills with noble families. The grand hall glows beneath tall windows. The air hums with polite laughter, soft music, and whispered compliments. You walk beside Lord Hawthorne, dressed in pale silk, your powdered skin flawless beneath the careful light. The guests murmur as you pass. Still so graceful, still so perfect. Their eyes drift across your smooth forehead, your hollow cheeks, your pale hands resting gently on his arm. No one sees the cracks beneath. They see only what you give them. The mask holds. Later that evening, you retreat to your chamber. The maid arrives, carrying the vinegar cloths. She works gently, but the cloth stings more sharply tonight. Thin red lines streak beneath your jaw. The skin peels faintly beneath your left ear. The maid pauses. "My lady." You meet her eyes in the mirror. Her voice trembles. "It may be time to call the physician." You stare at your reflection for a long moment. The cracks grow wider. The powder grows thinner. You whisper softly, "Not yet." Her voice is almost a breath. "It may be dangerous." You close your eyes for a moment. Dangerous. The word feels strange now. What hasn't been dangerous? You open your eyes.
The days grow warmer. The sunlight lingers longer now.
slipping through the tall windows as evening arrives more slowly. The gardens bloom in soft bursts of color. Pale roses, lavender, soft yellow lilies nodding beneath the breeze. The estate hums quietly. Visitors come and go, their voices carrying polite words you barely hear anymore. Their eyes pass across you, still admiring, still respectful, still blind. They see the face, they see the gown, they see the perfection. They do not see beneath it. They never have. The vinegar cloth burns more now. Your maid dabs more gently, her hands careful, but the sores beneath your jaw deepen. The redness spreads along your temple. The lead has soaked into your skin, into your bones, into your breath. But still, the powder falls each morning, the brush glides across your face, the mask is rebuilt. The world demands it, and you oblige. One afternoon, as you walked the gallery, you paused again beneath the same portrait. The woman's face, pale and perfect, stares back at you. You no longer wonder who she was. You know. She was you. And one day, you will be her. A face behind glass, a name no longer spoken, a portrait of perfection long after the woman inside has disappeared. You press your fingertips lightly against the frame. The wood feels cool. You whisper softly, "We endure." The silence answers, as always, soft, patient, eternal. That night, you wake briefly beneath the candlelight. The maid has long since finished the cleansing. The blanket rests gently across your chest. The house hums quietly in the darkness. You stare at the wooden beams above you. Your thoughts drift softly. You imagine the countless women who sat beneath vinegar cloths before you, the quiet patience of their mornings, the slow burn of their evenings, the endless repetition. The training passed from mother to daughter, the plucking, the painting, the erasing. Their faces blurred into one endless parade of pale, silent beauty. They were never remembered for their laughter, or their fears, or their thoughts. Only for their stillness, their smoothness, their silence. Your mother's words return like a whisper. "We endure, child. That is what women like us do." But in the quiet of this night, something shifts gently inside you. You realize that enduring is not living. Enduring is simply disappearing slowly enough that no one notices. You breathe softly. Your chest rises beneath the thin blanket. You close your eyes. And as you drift into sleep, one final thought rises, quiet and warm. I was here. Even if no one remembers, even if my name fades, I was here. I lived. I felt. I breathed. And beneath the paint, beneath the powder, beneath the heavy silence, I was real. The house breathes softly around you. The candle flickers one last time. And gently, silently, you disappear into the soft dark, into sleep.
The world continues without you. The seasons turn, as they always do. The wind still hums against the stone walls. The vines climb steadily, curling toward the sun. The fields stretch wide beneath pale skies. Inside the house, new faces sit at the table. New voices whisper the same polite words. New daughters learn to hold their chins high beneath layers of powder. The same brushes, the same cloths, the same careful glances, the same silences. They endure, as you did. The portrait gallery grows longer. More frames hang upon the stone walls. More pale faces behind glass. More perfect masks staring outward with painted grace. Their names are spoken briefly, politely, while the guests pass beneath them. Her gown was very fine. She had such perfect skin. Her marriage was very successful. But never, what did she feel? What did she hope? What did she lose beneath the powder? Those questions fade with the years. The world outside grows louder. The cities beyond the estate walls swell with merchants, soldiers, pilgrims. Kings rise, kings fall. But here, inside the stone walls, the routine remains steady. Always the vinegar, always the lead, always the careful hands restoring each fragile mask one morning at a time. The powder endures long after the women beneath it vanish. And somewhere, far beyond memory, beneath these quiet beams, beneath the pale silk gowns, beneath the layers of paint, you remain. Not your name, not your portrait, not your perfect mask, but the quiet truth beneath it. The girl who once stared at herself in a copper mirror, who dreamed briefly of standing in the sun, who imagined a world without powder, without heavy silk, without silent rules. You breathed. You hoped. You lived. Even